The year is 1994, a long-lost age when Capcom knew how to make good video games. Super Nintendo's popularity was going strong, and it was arguably one of the greatest times to be a comic book reader, especially for X-Men fans. Fox Kids was airing the animated series with one of the best theme songs ever made by human minds. And merchandise was everywhere. Toys, board games, collectible cards, pasta, and even video games. Our star game today is X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. X-Men Mutant Apocalypse. This was one of my favorite games growing up. I've beaten it 1,000 times, and I'll probably beat it 1,000 times more. But what's it about? X-Men Mutant Apocalypse tells the story of the mutant-hating island nation of Genosha, located near Madagascar and first appearing in Uncanny X-Men number 235 in 1988. Genosha imprisoned and enslaved its mutant population before serving as a mutant homeland ruled by Magneto. As the X-Men, it's your job to save these captured mutants for good. But one dastardly villain has his own plans for them: Apocalypse. You get a choice of 5 different X-Men: Gambit, Psylocke, Cyclops, Wolverine, and Beast. And you can tell it's a Capcom game right away. The level select is set up just like the Mega Man games. You pick a stage, and you fight an end boss just like Mega Man. And tell me that music doesn't sound like Mega Man also. It sounds awesome. The Street Fighter influence is also in here. You press down forward punch in Street Fighter, and you throw a Hadouken. You press the same combination in X-Men, and Cyclops shoots a laser. You press forward down forward punch in Street Fighter, Ken does his Shoryuken. Wolverine does it too, by pressing the same combination. All the characters have different abilities depending on what button combination you press, and depending on who you pick, you go to different locations around Genosha. Wolverine goes to the Sentinel factory, Cyclops attacks a train transport, Psylocke strikes at the main base, while Gambit attacks the harbor base, and finally Beast has to go to the central computer. We'll check out Wolverine first. Most of the enemies you fight in this game are these regular humans that try to punch you. Some throw grenades, some shoot you, but they're all just worthless adversaries. You can slice through them pretty easily. In all seriousness, if you punch Wolverine, you are gonna get shredded. Halfway through the stage, you fight your first mini-boss, a big generic robot that shoots missiles at you. Eventually, you get to the first boss, and who is it? A Sentinel. First appearing in X-Men number 14 in 1965, the Sentinels were created for the sole purpose of hunting down and exterminating mutant kind.
Hold, mutant!
Who's a mutant? Don't answer that!
And even managed to take over the entire planet in an alternate future. This unfinished Sentinel just kinda moves its head around and shoots lasers at you. It's fairly easy. You just need to attack its head until it's done for, and you can even trick it to hit your enemies with its own lasers. Next up, Psylocke. She's got her psychic knife, which is pretty powerful. You make your way through the level and run into another mid-stage robot. One of my main complaints about this game is that most of the bosses are generic robots and machines. I kinda wish we had more classic X-Men villains in it, like Mr. Sinister or Sabretooth, although we do see some classic villains later on. Well, once you get to the boss of this stage, another Sentinel. He just shoots lasers, sets the ground on fire, and punches every once in a while. Another fairly easy boss as long as you keep jumping and kicking. And Cyclops. He was one of my favorite characters to pick in this game. You can just blast bad guys from far away with his optic blast. And this section's really cool too. You have these dudes on speeder bikes that go in the background and come speeding from the sides. The boss is a generic train. You just blast the engines and avoid all the crap flying at you. Nothing much more to be said here. And Beast has the boring level. Of course, because he's got the most boring powers. The level design is boring, the music is boring, And Beast isn't very interesting to play as. He obviously just punches and such, and he bounces off enemies when he charges at them. This caused me to fall down pits and die several times from bouncing off of enemies. And you fight another generic robot mini-boss, and the main boss in the stage is another Sentinel. Actually 3 of them. After you beat all 3 of them, you're done with Beast's level. And Gambit, the X-Men all of us little boys in the 90s wanted to be when we grew up.
Anything else?
Don't go away. I'll be right back.
I must be going nuts. Everybody's gone. People flying everywhere. The balls turning.
I loved playing as him. He had some cool combos with his staff, and he could throw 3 cards at once. The boss in this stage is a big ship above you that shoots lasers down at you. And I remember as a kid having no clue how to hit this thing. The game doesn't tell you this at all, but I eventually figured it out. If you press up twice and Y, you can throw cards up in the air. Maybe the instruction manual explained this, but when I was a child, I bought this game used, so I didn't have an instruction manual, nor did I have internet to look it up. You blow up the cannons, then you give the pilot an ass whooping. And after beating the initial 5 levels, you get a password screen. Remember those? You kids nowadays better be grateful for your checkpoints. We didn't even have those back then. And at this point, you have a little more freedom. You can pick whoever you want, and it won't affect what level you go to. In this mission, you fight annoying alien bugs that hatch from eggs that look like they were ripped straight from aliens. The Brood. First appearing in Uncanny X-Men number 155 in 1982. The Brood are armed with stingers that can paralyze or poison, and they reproduce by injecting a host with an egg, turning that host into a Brood. And what boss do you face? The Brood Queen. Not inspired at all by the Alien Queen from the Alien franchise. The Brood Queens are also known as Mother Queens, and enforce the will of the more powerful Brood Empress. If you happen to pick Beast here, you're screwed, because he's slow, a big target, and you can only hurt the queen by hitting her head. And if you just touch her little stinger at the bottom of the screen, it hurts you too. So yeah, don't pick Beast here. You pick Gambit, and all you have to do is stand on the left side and throw cards. Invincible. In the next stage, you meet these annoying little men that grab you, which remind me of the Flea Men from Castlevania. I hate these guys. It's a short little level, and you eventually run into Tusk, first appearing in X Factor number 65 in 1991, and one of the most uninteresting characters in the X-Men universe. Tusk is an Inhuman and a member of the Dark Riders who serve Apocalypse. He's armed with super strength and can make smaller duplicates of himself, called the Tuskettes for some reason. And why is he called Tusk? Because he has 2 tusks growing out of his shoulders. Creativity. The best thing to do here is to knock him into the lava and let the platform land on his head until he's no more. And you absolutely want to choose Cyclops for this next one. You get chased by a wall of lava and gates keep closing right in front of you. Cyclops can break them in one shot. Once again, if you pick Beast, you're screwed, because you bounce off the walls and you will not have time to escape the lava. And the boss in this stage, Apocalypse. First appearing in X Factor number 5 in 1986. Apocalypse has been plaguing humanity since the times of ancient Egypt. He can do just about anything and wants to use his powers to rule the world.
From the ashes of this world, I will build a better one. Go forth, my horsemen.
And you most definitely want Cyclops or Gambit here, because you can't get close to Apocalypse. Anytime you do, he forms spikes on himself, and you get hurt. Just time your attacks when he teleports around, and keep blasting away. Well, it looks like his plans are ruined, and you save the mutants from becoming his slaves. Game over, right? Surprise! Magneto! And Magneto wants revenge against Genosha for capturing mutants and promises to destroy their government. While Professor X locates Magneto's position, the X-Men prepare for battle in the Danger Room. And first up is Omega Red, first appearing in X-Men number 4 in 1992. Omega Red was a Russian serial killer and the result of Russia's attempt to create their own version of Captain America, because that hasn't been done before. And in order to sustain his immune system, he uses his tentacles to drain the life energy from his victims. Who better to face Omega Red than his arch-nemesis Wolverine? If you get close to him, he whips you. So the best thing to do is to dash at him from far away. He jumps around the screen, and eventually you take him down. After him, we've got the Juggernaut, first appearing in X-Men number 12 in 1965. The Juggernaut is a stepbrother of Professor X. who used a magical gem to get his powers. He became virtually unstoppable until his helmet comes off. And I find it hard to believe that any of the X-Men in this game could hurt the Juggernaut by simply punching him. Well, that's how you beat him. You just kick and punch him until he's down. Professor X discovers that Magneto is hiding out in his secret base, Avalon. First appearing in X-Force number 25 in 1993, Avalon was originally the orbital space station belonging to the time-traveling son of Jean Grey and Cyclops called Cable. Magneto discovered it and expanded it with pieces of his old base, Asteroid M. And the path to Magneto is a difficult one. Each character, once again, has a stage of their own, in which they're constantly harassed by Magneto's teleporting acolytes, and you eventually run into Exodus. First appearing in X Factor number 92 in 1993, Exodus was born in the 12th century, and was eventually made into Magneto's most trusted general. He can fly, teleport, heal fast, and a bunch of other random things. In this fight, he's such a dick. He teleports around when you're about to hit him, and he picks you up and throws you around like a ragdoll. You just have to keep chipping away at him until he's down. This fight has one of my biggest peeves in video games. Whenever you're fighting a boss and they can't fight you on their own, they have to have their little henchmen coming up and helping too. I can't stand it. Now, the last bosses that you fight in this game before the main boss, Cyclops fights a mechanical orb thing. Psylocke fights a missile. Yeah, just a missile. It does nothing. Gambit fights holograms of the X-Men, Beast fights a laser cannon, and Wolverine fights a round robot thing. The final boss in this game, as you probably expect, is Magneto. And he is a pain in the ass. First appearing in X-Men number 1 in 1963, Magneto is the X-Men's most common enemy, and is among the most powerful villains in the entire Marvel Universe. He has the ability to control magnetic fields, and at one point even flooded the entire city of New York. He is not a threat to be taken lightly, and this game represents that perfectly.
Those who oppose me are traitors to mutant kind. I will show him no mercy. If Charles Xavier dreams of peace between human and mutant, his vision will soon become a nightmare.
He's got a shield that doesn't go away until he attacks you, with either an energy blast that freezes you, or he throws a bunch of crap at you. This fight may want to make you throw your controller on the ground. I swear, the only one that could hit him a lot is Wolverine, because he could climb on walls and avoid all the junk he throws at you. I almost lost all of my X-Men fighting him. Everyone other than Wolverine is at his complete mercy. Capcom was generous here at least, or they just knew that a lot of kids wouldn't get past this part. With each attempt, Magneto's health doesn't regenerate. It stays where it is, so you can keep chipping away at him with several X-Men until you beat him. Unless you lose all your lives, in that case, you're screwed. So after losing several lives, you finally beat him, and you saved the day. Congratulations. This game is a blast to play. A solid 2 hours of fun with a pretty big difficulty spike at the end of the game. But if you're a real gamer, you persevere, you fight to the end, and you don't give up. Play it. Thanks for watching, guys. Leave me a like and a comment down below. Let me know what other retro games you want me to review. There's really no limits here. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. This is Fabian from GamerThumbTV. Till next time, guys.